Hello, former Crusaders, and welcome to episode 2 of our end of the year extravaganza. My name's Sean Wasserkrug. With me, as always, is Brian Michaels. If you missed our first episode of the most disappointed films of 2025, go back and check that out real quick, because now we are going into our most surprising films of 2025. This is basically a preface what the list is. These are movies that we either had low expectations or no expectations of, or thought they were going to suck, and they ended up being good. At least for my list, none of these are in my best of. Brian, do you have any that are in your best of for later in the year?
There may be one or two, yes.
Okay. Don't say they are, though.
I won't say what they are.
Okay. But yeah, these are more happy conversations than disappointed, where we were hurt and angry by them. So these are literally movies that we were taken aback in a good way. So this is going to be a happy conversation today. Before we go into our next episode, which will be the worst, where we're just going to talk mad shit about everything that we're talking about. But I have 5 honorable mentions. Brian has 3. So I will go ahead and knock through I'll knock through my 5 real quick, and then Brian will knock through his 3. If we do have crossfire where one of mine is something that he had but higher up, Brian can either choose to talk about it right then and there with me, or wait until we get to his. If it's really far away, we'll make that decision in that moment. But let's go ahead and get this one underway. My first honorable mention. Like I said, they're not really ranked. They are, but they're not. So if you're like, why is this one number 1 and 3? It's just the order we choose to talk to them about. My first honorable mention is one that I was scary anticipating, because I was like, I want to be excited for this, but God, it's probably gonna fucking suck. And it actually didn't suck for me, and that was Happy Gilmore 2. I know you didn't. I will say this. It's not a perfect movie. No Adam Sandler movie is. It had to grow on me. It had to grow on me, because it is not Happy Gilmore. It isn't. Like, it is, but it isn't. It still has a lot. It has all the things that we hate about Adam Sandler movies now, but it's done better than the movies that are shit, if that makes any sense.
Does it not feel as phoned in and lazy as its past several movies?
No, there's points where there are, but not for Adam Sandler. It's more for around him. There's this unnecessary friend cameos, which are not needed. Like,
that's every movie he does.
There's one, the lazy-eyed guy. I don't ever know his name, but the lazy-eyed guy. Like, there's one point he pops in and the camera like stops and he poses like this. We're like, you don't need to do that. You don't deserve that honor. Like, we get who you are, but you don't need to pause in front of the camera so everyone can go, oh, it's him. No, fuck you. You don't need that. Is there unnecessary cameos of celebrities that are friends of Adam Sandler who are in the movie that don't need to talk? Yes. They're not as egregiously bad as a lot of his other films. Is there certain jokes that run on way too long or are rehashed 5 times in the movie when they weren't funny the first time? Yes. But that happens in the movies that we love of Adam Sandler as well. So it's like, that's just an Adam Sandler thing. You can take it or leave it. Does he cast his family in it? Yes. His wife and 2 daughters are in the movie. They're not bad in this. What's funny is that one of his daughters is actually his daughter in the movie, and the other one is like his friend. But for some reason, they don't like. Why not just have them both be daughters? Like, she clearly looks like your daughter. Why are we not doing like that's just a weird choice? And then they have the stupid joke at the end, like, man, I really wish you were my dad. And he's like, yeah. And then they linger there, and it's like, we get it. It's not cute. It's just stupid. In spite of that, though, it's funny. I love Happy Gilmore. It's funny. It's got some great moments in it, and it's one of those, like, I've rewatched this. It's one of those I want to watch something tonight, and it's like, fuck it, let's put on Happy Gilmore 2 again. And I've watched it like 4 times, and I still see all the bad scenes are bad scenes, but it's got that charm in it that made me actually enjoy watching it for what it was. And there's some scenes at the end that got cut. I really would have liked if they got put back in, because I feel like there's some moments that really probably hit better. And that's one thing too, is that there's actually a really good emotional story going on with Happy in this movie that I wasn't expecting to get. That is actually good, because Adam Sandler can act in drama when they let him, and they actually do let him have that to a certain point. So like I say, it's one of those that's like I wasn't expecting to enjoy it as much as I did, but it was one of those that I had to watch a few times to really kind of find like the passion for it. But yeah, there's that one. I don't want to go that long, but I did.
And all that was for his first honorable mention. There you go.
Yeah, there you go. I won't go as long on the other ones, I promise. My next one talked about on the halfway show, and that's Heads of State on Amazon Prime. John Cena and Idris Elba, the president and the prime minister. I love both the guys. I kind of going into it was like expecting it to be like, at least it's going to be fun, but I actually enjoyed it quite a bit. I thought the action was really solid throughout. The humor was there. It didn't overstay its welcome. And I would be totally down to see a sequel for these two. I think it's the second time we've seen them together because of Suicide Squad. I would totally be down to see these particular characters in a movie again. I really enjoyed this one. My next one was on Netflix. Was not expecting to really care much for it. I kind of just watched it one day because I was bored, and actually found it very charming. And that's the Thursday Murder Club, which is it's got Pierce Brosnan, Ben Kingsley, Helen Mirren, Tom Ellis for your Lucifer fans. And basically it's they're at a retired old folks home, but they also solve murders. And they usually solve like cold cases or like not anything that's really like dangerous right now until an actual murder lands on their doorstep and they have to solve it. It's charmingly fun and sweet and like really well acted for everybody in it. And it's kind of one of those just like you can just throw it on and be doing something, but then you just all of a sudden just get kind of hooked into it. And by the end of it, you're like, that was actually really good. It's like I wasn't prepared to like that one as much. But yeah, that one's on Netflix. My next one we talked about also in the half year review we both liked, which was Deep Cover on Amazon Prime. Orlando Bloom, Bryce Dallas Howard, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I wanted to say Jessica Chastain. I was like, that's not correct. And
Nick Mohammed.
Yeah, Nick Mohammed from Ted Lasso. Basically, improv actors who get thrown into actual undercover cop drug deals with Sean Bean. It seems like it's not going to be a good movie, but it actually is quite fun. Orlando Bloom is having a blast in this role. It was just a fun film for what it was. I mean, it's not like laugh out loud hilarious, but when the moments hit, they hit really, really well. And I actually enjoyed this one quite a bit, and I was not expecting much out of it. And my last honorable mention is a director that I don't enjoy. I understand why people like him, but it's just not me and Brian's cup of tea. But I actually really enjoyed this one, and that is The Phoenician Scheme. And yes, I'm surprised I said that correctly as well. I just randomly watched it one night because I was just like, I just want to see what it is. And I was intrigued and entertained and really kind of enjoyed everyone in this movie. Benicio del Toro is great in the film. Michael Cera is a standout in this one. I really, really, really enjoyed him in this. And I'm blanking on the lead actress. I don't have the cast list in front of me. But it's gonna take me too long to type it up. I know Brian's fast. Say it one more time.
Mia Threepleton? Never heard of her. Scarlett Johansson's in
it. She's a relative unknown to me, but she plays Benicio's daughter in the film. She's great in the movie. It's got that Wes Anderson charm, which doesn't necessarily always work for Brian and I, but it worked well for me in this movie. It's very Wes Anderson-y, so it's not like, is this like not very much Wes Anderson? Is that why Sean liked it? No, it's very much a Wes Anderson film, but it doesn't have a lot of the same cast. Like you're not seeing like they're in there, but they're not overtaking the movie. And there's just I don't know. Like it was just one of those. Like maybe it was just the right time for me to watch it, for me to enjoy it. But like I said, I actually really enjoyed this Wes Anderson film. Did you ever see this one?
No, actually, it's one I was still considering watching. So knowing that you actually enjoyed it makes me more likely to watch it.
It's not going to move the needle for you, but I think you'll watch it going, you know what? For a Wes Anderson movie, I didn't hate it. But those are my honorable mentions. What was your third one?
I have 3 honorable mentions. The first one is just kind of the first one's The Toxic Avenger. This is only on this list because I'm surprised it came out. I'm just surprised it fucking exists.
I gave Brian so much shit for years that this movie was never going to come out, and then it finally did.
You didn't believe me until it existed, and then it finally came with a trailer, but then it was still another year before it came out. But that's the only reason it's on my surprise list is because I'm surprised it came out. I enjoyed it, but it wasn't. I expected to enjoy it, so that's fine. My next honorable mention is a movie called 40 Acres, which I really didn't know much about. It stars Danielle Deadwyler, who we loved in Harder They Fall, and she's done some other good films as well. It's basically, I think I described this movie as feeling like it's The Walking Dead without the zombies. It's kind of like it's kind of in some kind of post-apocalyptic world where everyone's kind of living on their own little, in the communities and plots of land, and they got to worry about the people that are coming around raiding other people's, villages and trying to take everything they have. And so it's just kind of a survival story. But I thought it was very well done. Had no expectations for it going in, and ended up actually really enjoying it very much. My last honorable mention is Freaky Tales. Freaky Tales is another movie that I didn't really know anything about. And it's a movie that really is kind of a lot of what makes me love this movie is kind of the vibe of it. It takes place in 1987, I believe it is, and it definitely has kind of this like techno kind of 80s vibe to it. The music is very 80s. The style of it is very, and it's one of those movies that has three or four like intertwining stories. Obviously Pedro Pascal is kind of the biggest name in it, but it also has Ben Mendelsohn. It has Dominic Thorne, who we know from Ironheart. Jack Champion's in there. It's got a great supporting cast. But I loved each one of the individual segments. They didn't quite all come together for me as well as I wanted to kind of in the end, but each individual segment I enjoyed very much, and just it was kind of something kind of refreshing and different, which is why I enjoyed this one. And this, like I said, it just came out of nowhere. That's why it's on my surprise list.
I did finally watch that, by the way. Yeah, it was all right.
Well, it's not gonna make my best list or anything by any means, but
yeah. Was that all?
Those are my honorable mentions, yeah.
Oh, I thought you had one more.
No,
that's what I was all quiet. I was like, he's got.
No, it's Toxic, 40 Acres, and Freaky Tales.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Yeah, I didn't love the first story. I didn't love the first story of that. I think once Pedro's character came in, I think that's when the stories finally started to actually get good. Because I was like, I really didn't understand what the hell was going on with it. I was just like, what the fuck is this shit? So yeah, it took me a little bit. Then afterwards, I was like, I kind of finally figured it out, but it's like it still didn't make me love the first or second story that much. But yeah, anyway, going into our top 10, like I said, not really ranked, which is the way we're talking about them, is one that I really had no anticipation of wanting to watch. I think the original is good, or the first one is good, but I think it's overrated. But I mean, it's solid, so I wasn't really excited for the sequel, but it surprised me, and that's Freakier Friday.
That is number 6 on my list.
Number 6, okay, and it was high. Like I said, we've been shuffling these rankings for a while. This was as high as 4 for me.
And again, it's not really ranked. Just at the moment, these are the ones that give me the most. Yeah,
exactly. I really had no need or want to really see another Freaky Friday. I will admit, bringing Lindsay Lohan, who relatively doesn't. Well, she's kind of back now, but at the time they announced it like she was
still a train wreck. Yeah.
Yeah. Good for her that she.
I root for her. I hope she does able to come back and kind of.
Yeah, the only other person I could probably root for like that, but I don't think there's any way of her getting to that point would be Amanda Bynes, but I think she's long gone.
Oh,
yeah. I would love if Amanda Bynes was able to come back and be Amanda Bynes again, but that's never going to happen. But Lindsay Lohan, good for you. But like I said, I didn't really care about really seeing Lindsay Lohan and Jamie Lee Curtis do this again. And I enjoy Jamie Lee Curtis and stuff. There is one reason why this movie works as well as it does, and that's Julia Butters. Julia Butters is this. Well, she's not a girl. She's not a little girl anymore, but at the time, she was this little girl in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood who stood toe to toe with Leo and acted the shit out of this one scene where we basically at that point were like, we have to pay attention to this girl. When we started seeing her in other things here and there, it was like, oh yeah, that's Julia Butters, and like she's solid. And then this way was like, why do I know who that is? Like I forgot who it was, and I was like, oh shit, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood girl. And like the first half of the movie, like basically like when she's just playing herself, I was like, oh okay, but it's once the switch happens and she's basically playing Lindsay Lohan, and I was like, holy shit, she managed to mimic Lindsay Lohan perfectly. Like, and that's when we really started to become enjoyable for me, because she manages to become Lindsay Lohan in such a perfect way. And the other daughter, I think she does a serviceable job as Jamie Lee Curtis, but I don't think she really does Jamie Lee Curtis. She just does an old person. She's fine, but this literally, like, and Lindsay Lohan and Jamie Lee Curtis are both great. Like, I don't want to say it's all Julia Butters. Like, they both know what the fuck they're doing, and they're both great playing the young versions. But Julia Butters to me is the standout. And also, it was nice seeing Chad Michael Murray pop back up again. He was fun in his little small part, so I enjoyed it for what it was.
Yeah, no, this made my list because, like you, it's like the first one was fine, but I didn't love it. It wasn't their target audience to start with, but it was amusing enough. Didn't need to see a sequel, especially however many years later. I don't know when the first one was, like 2006 or something like that.
I think it was earlier than that.
Was it early? So, but it's been basically 20 years since then. Like you said, Lindsay Lohan's kind of been a train wreck since then. So kind of went in low expectations. I went and saw this mostly because I had time to kill and nothing else that I hadn't already seen was showing. So I'm like, you know what? Fine, I'll go watch this movie. And I went because I was kind of planning to skip it, even though I do like Julia Butters. I thought she has potential, but otherwise I didn't really care about most of this movie. Oh, and Manny Jacinto, love Manny Jacinto. Although I will say he didn't get to have enough fun in this movie. He's kind of a straight character.
he wasn't able to be the Manny that we enjoy.
Yeah. But I went and saw this, and I really enjoyed this. Again, it's not going to make my top of the year list or anything, but I found myself enjoying this way more than I expected to. I was just planning to pass time, but I was enjoying this. But more than anything else, is like this movie made me really emotional towards the end, and I'm like,
yes, it did.
I'm like, why is this movie of all movies? How did this movie actually make me emotional? And I think it's just because it was a whole lot of parenting stuff. And I have 2 kids, and it's kind of that, and they're teenagers as well. So I think was just kind of comparing a lot to them, my own life. So it just hit me harder. But I was like, okay, whatever you're doing, you did it right. So
yeah, and like I said, I give the credit to the young actors for especially Julia Butters for getting us there, because it got to that one point where like, holy crap, is this movie making me feel? Fuck you, movie. 2003 was Freaky Friday, so 22 years later. Yeah, 22 years later for the sequel. My number 9 was a movie that you saw the trailer for, and I was like, this is probably gonna be like, I'm super interested, but it's probably not gonna be good. But it ended up being a lot of fun, and that is Death of a Unicorn.
Oh, okay.
The best way I could describe this in a loose way is Jurassic Park on acid. It really is. Like, it is, or I'm sorry, not Jurassic Park, Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom on acid. Because it's all at a mansion, and not like on an island. But you got Paul Rudd, you got Jenna Ortega, you got Will Poulter, Téa Leoni, and oh god, fuck the dad.
I didn't remember. No, at this point.
Warner Holtzog. God damn it! You're looking it up, so I'm just gonna wait for you to find it. Oh, yeah. Warner Holtzog. I want to say.
Oh, Werner Herzog.
Yeah,
is he the dad? Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's the dad. I think he's the dad. This movie's just wacky as shit, and it's brutal. And also, my boy, he's becoming quickly one of my favorite.
Oh no, Richard E. Grant was the dad.
Richard E. Grant. Sorry, it's Richard E. Grant. Help me with my boy, guy with no eyebrows.
Anthony Carrigan.
Thank you. She yells Voldemort. Not Voldemort. Anthony Carrigan is quickly becoming one of my favorite actors that pops on screen. He's like David Desmalchin to me. Whenever I see either one of them, I'm like, yeah. This movie is insane bonkers. and in the best way. Will Poulter is a standout in this one.
He's always a standout, but especially here. Yeah,
he's so good in this. But yeah, this movie is fun and gory and exciting and just just a thrill ride to go through. And it was one of those words like, this is not going to be that movie, and then you're like, this is totally that movie. And I had a blast watching this.
You know, I feel like I should have put this on my list, but I think once I saw the trailer, it just looked like a lot of fun, and I ended up enjoying it. So even though it did kind of come from out of nowhere originally, it didn't make my list, but I could totally see it.
I'm surprised it didn't make your list. I figured you were going to say, this is my number, whatever.
No, I mean, I enjoyed it. I will say this much about it. The one thing I have a problem with it is that Jenna Ortega, I think, kind of over. She's kind of plays the same character in everything she does.
She is kind of stuck in playing the similar role because of Wednesday. Granted, she's not Wednesday in this, but she's old enough to not be these.
She always kind of has a dark, monotone kind of role.
She's always playing like this dark, like, you know, rebel teenager, goth teenager kind of role, and it's because she did Wednesday so well that everyone just kind of wants to see her in this role, and she can't get out of it right now. And that's until she's done with Wednesday, which who knows how much longer she'll be doing that for. I feel like she's going to be stuck in this because it's not that she's not capable of doing other things, because she.
Well, I feel like she should purposely find other roles so she can show people what else she can do.
And the problem is, I just don't think anyone's giving her the opportunity.
I will say there was a not a rom-com, it's more of a drama, but it was called something like Winter, Spring, Summer, Fall. I don't know the order of them. It's something like that. It was which I didn't love the movie. It kind of went in a couple weird directions, but it was something different for her. So I will give her credit for that. In that movie, she was able to stretch her acting a little bit.
Well, she was also, oh God, the movie Miller's Girl last year. Like
I didn't see that one. Yeah.
She definitely did not play character type in that. Like I was like, okay, cool. But I mean, the movie itself was not great, but it was like, at least she was doing something different. But we know she's fully capable of doing else. But yeah, she's stuck in these typecast roles, and it's a bummer because I know she's capable of more. What was your next one?
Well, I still have to do my number 10. You skipped over me.
Oh shit, I did. I went right into Freaker Friday and then right into Death of the Unicorn.
It's fine. My number 10 is a movie. Again, it's not gonna be on my best list or anything, but it was kind of one I hadn't even heard of. It popped out of nowhere, and I actually enjoyed it quite a bit. And that was Neighborhood Watch. This is a movie starring Jeffrey Dean Morgan and Jack Quaid. Basically, Jack Quaid is a mentally ill guy who thinks he witnesses this abduction, and nobody believes him because he has this history of, like, you know, imagining things and mental illness. So he goes to his next door neighbor who is like a retired security guard, and he wants him to help him basically find this missing woman and solve this crime. And the movie takes some weird turns and stuff, and I enjoyed it quite a bit, but you know, it didn't quite live up to its full potential. But I loved the chemistry of these two characters. And I even said in my review, I would love to see like a whole like series on TV of just this odd couple of people just like solving a different crime every week, because the two of them worked so well together, and the character, both in characters and as actors, I think they worked together perfectly. And it was just a pleasant surprise to me, even though it wasn't, like I said, the greatest film of the year. It was fun, and it was something like I didn't even know was coming out. So that's a different kind of surprise for me.
I agreed with you. It's like I didn't love the movie, but I would love to watch
the actual plot. The story was kind of like, whatever.
Yeah, it's like Heads of State to me. Like I would love to just watch these two characters do another movie together, maybe with a different kind of tone to it. Because I really enjoyed those two together. Even though I didn't really enjoy the movie, I enjoyed those two together.
Yeah, my number 9 you already discussed, and I actually already discussed it at the mid-year, and that was Deep Cover as well. Just again, because it's a movie that we didn't even know was coming out. It just kind of showed up, and we enjoyed it. And especially, I was pleasantly surprised to see Orlando Bloom, who's kind of gotten into like some straight-to-video roles and things, and hasn't really gotten to really shine at anything. He was clearly having a ball in this. So, for the same reasons as you, I enjoyed this.
I feel like if he wasn't in this movie, we wouldn't be so high on this film. But I mean, it's for good reason. He's so great.
Yeah. Did you already do your 8, or are you on 8 now?
No, I'll go to 8 now.
Okay.
My number 8, speaking of Jurassic Park, is Jurassic World Rebirth. This was, like I said this at the beginning of the year for anticipated. Don't hurt me anymore, Jurassic World. I can't take it anymore. If you do another dud, my heart will be just obliterated. And Jurassic World's not great. Rebirth, it's not great. It's serviceably good. And you know what? I can deal with that right now. Because what you fucking did with Fallen Kingdom and Dominion,
Both better than this movie.
No, they're not. No, they're fucking not. Had me at the lowest of low when it came to Jurassic Park World franchise. This one I felt was serviceable. I liked the characters most part for what they did. I thought the action set pieces worked, solidly. I will admit I'm not as high on it now as I was when it first came out. But I was still surprised that by the end of the movie, I was happy with what I saw and not just curmudgeonly angry and upset like it was the previous two films. That's all I gotta say about that.
And I talked about this on a different video. So.
Yes.
My number 8 is like Sean was with Phoenician Scheme. It's from a director who I generally don't enjoy, just not my kind of thing. And that's Darren Aronofsky. I've never really liked much of anything Darren Aronofsky's done. I respect him as a filmmaker. Oh, okay. They're just not for me. This year he came out with Caught Stealing, which is the first time I think he's done a movie that is just, allowed to be fun. I mean, it's got some dark parts to it, but it's not like dark and brooding and like all his other movies are. It feels like oppressive, practically, like The Wrestler and The Fountain and even Pi and some of these things. Even his version of Noah. But it's like to the point that I wasn't even sure he directed this movie. I'm like, wait, did I read that right? Did he direct this? Because he did, and I actually enjoyed this quite a bit. I liked seeing Austin Butler get to play kind of just kind of a regular dude after doing a lot of things like Dune and some of these other movies. I think that this is the kind of thing that he's just kind of perfect for. It has the great balance of like humor and drama and action and crime. It's got a whole bunch of kind of genres mixed in there. Zoe Kravitz was good. Doctor Who, Matt Smith. He showed up early in the movie, and I'd seen him in the preview. I'm like, oh, I love him. He's great in this role. And then he like disappeared. I'm like, oh shit, please tell me that's not all we're gonna see of him. But then of course he comes back and ends the movie and gets to have a lot more fun, sinking his teeth into that again. You got Liev Schreiber and I believe it's Vincent D'Onofrio playing these two I don't know if they're like Yiddish or
they're definitely Yiddish
or what's the word, Orthodox Jew or whatever they are. But they're also hitmen. And I just loved the characters you created. I loved the story. I was just pleasantly surprised because this is a movie that I might have passed up just because I know Darren Aronofsky is not my kind of thing. But I'm glad I didn't because I enjoyed this quite a bit.
This was basically Aronofsky doing his best version of Guy Ritchie.
Yes, very much felt like that. Yes,
it felt like he's like, I want to make a Guy Ritchie movie, so let me do this. This almost ended up on my disappointed. And I think it's because I saw what it was going to be trailer-wise, and I was real excited for it. And this movie's kind of, it's Darren Aronofsky. I should have known better. It's dark. And not like fun dark, like depressing dark. Like you start to get into a groove, and then it's like, oh no, and then this happens. Like, shit, fuck, they really went there with that? That's dark. And then they don't let up either. It's like, then they do this. I'm like, damn, like, and then
darkness, but I thought it felt a lot of fun in there too, personally.
But then like halfway through the movie, it's like, oh no, now we're just gonna go dark, and we're gonna start like offing certain people, and it's just like it just kept going progressively down. I was just like, man, it doesn't feel fun anymore. Now it just feels like sad and depressing. Like, it's not to the point where you're gonna be emotional, but just like, oh man, really? This is where we're going with this movie? Like, okay. And then it ends, and he's like, yeah, I don't know how to feel about this. And then also, was it Regina King? She was the cop.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Regina King, she was pretty solid. Like I said, none of the performances are bad in it, but it's just like, yeah, like the tone, like to me, just really shifted. And then I was like, it's Aronofsky. Why was I not prepared for that? Like that's my fault, but it's still, it just doesn't make that it doesn't change the fact that I was just kind of disappointed with the movie. I'm gonna start going through movies that people are gonna be like they probably never heard of, or they probably saw it on a streaming service and just didn't hit click to play. That I'm going to give their due, because I think pretty much all the way up until my number one, these are all like movies that people either had not seen, never heard of, or are straight streaming movies. But not, my number 7 is one that I know that we both enjoyed better than it probably has any right to be, and that's G20 on Amazon Prime, I believe.
I believe it was Amazon.
Yeah.
Check that, but
it doesn't bring anything new to the table. It's basically like London has fallen, or Olympus has fallen, or White House down, or name any White House, kind of terrorist kind of movie, except this is at the G20 summit kind of thing. You got Viola Davis as the president. I can't remember any of the rest of the cast besides her. But
you remember the main villain, don't you?
I'm blanking on it right now because I'm remembering my number 6 movie, and like I'm like crap. That's right, it's Homelander, Anthony Starr. Like so, I'm getting them mixed up with my number 6. So I was like, crap, I can't remember who's who. And once I say my number 6, you're like, oh yeah, okay, I see why you're getting confused. But like I said, it's one of those ones like I clicked on it to watch it, just like, all right, maybe this will end up on my worst list, and then like I'm actually enjoying this movie. Like it's not breaking the mold or anything, but in terms of like just a straight up Amazon Prime movie to watch, like it's solid. Like it's a fun watch. It's a fun watch. So, yeah, definitely G20.
I enjoyed just kind of your straight to streaming fare. I mean, it was kind of cool seeing Viola Davis getting to kind of kick ass in her own Die Hard role. I think the only thing held me back from this one is it was like from basically minute one, that's completely predictable. Like, who's in on it, every kind of plot beat that's going to happen. They very unsubtly like foreshadow every main moment that's going to come up in the movie. And there's also a lot of like plot holes and unbelievable nonsense, but I still enjoyed it. That.
It's one of those like we pick up on all this shit because we watch all these movies, so it's hard to shock us. Yeah, but the average moviegoer, they're not going to pick up on that shit.
Yeah. My next one, I think we talked about mid-year. I'm not sure exactly when we saw this one. And that is Fight or Flight.
My number 4.
Yeah, Fight or Flight. I believe we have talked about it. If nothing else, I think we did a review.
We definitely talked about it.
Josh Hartnett, we're kind of enjoying his kind of renaissance. Even he's kind of doing it slowly, kind of dipping his toe back into kind of some mainstream fare. This is I do remember because we called it a bullet plane. It's essentially a bullet train on a plane with a lower budget, maybe a little bit, maybe it's a B tier cast instead of A tier. But it also was a ton of fun. I mean, this is a movie that you got Katie Sackhoff. It's got a lot of people I don't even know who they are in there, but I thought it was well done for what it was. It was clearly made for lower budget because I think it was made by like basically a British cable channel, like Sky TV or whatever like that. Yeah.
Like Sky TV.
So essentially their version of straight to streaming kind of movie. I did get a small theatrical release, but it had Josh Hartnett getting to show more personality than he ever usually gets to, because usually he's kind of very kind of understated and serious, and here he's getting to play silly and over the top at times. And it has some cool action in it. So is it a bullet train knockoff? Absolutely, but it's still kind of fun.
Yeah, this was my number 4. Basically everything that you just said. Josh Hartnett, he's gotta have like a renaissance, like a resurgence, and I'm here for it. And this is just him having just straight fun, being a badass, which we don't really see Josh Hartnett do. He's usually always kind of like just like the normal guy, or he's like crazy or something like that. But he never gets to have like the badass action scene kind of dude. And it's just a stupid, fun movie. It's not like you're not there for the performances, you're there for the action. And it's not Bullet Train by any means, but it's serviceable enough to be you know what, that was way better than I had any right to be, and I'm here for it. So yeah, Fight or Flight definitely deserves to be on that list. My number 6 is should have been a service, or not a service, Jesus, a streaming movie. But it was it might have been a straight to streaming, but I want to say it was theatrical, and that's Cleaner.
Oh, the Daisy Ridley one.
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
Now you know why I couldn't figure out which villains were what in G20 because it's very much the same. It's basically Daisy Ridley's Die Hard. That's basically the best way you can describe it. It's female Die Hard. Yeah, Daisy Ridley. She's basically a cleaner, like an actual cleaner of
Like
windows,
window cleaner. Yeah.
not like a cleaner of like killing. And basically this terrorist group takes over the building, and she is like literally the only one that can like save the day. Like, yes, it's Die Hard. It literally is 100% Die Hard. But you know what though? It's actually fun. I didn't hate it. And a lot of people like shit on Daisy Ridley because of Star Wars. That's all she can do and shit. But I actually enjoy her for what she does. And this was one of those that I enjoyed. I remember being agitated though because Clive Owen is considered to be the main bad guy based on the trailers, and he's not, and that pissed me off. But like I said, the rest of the movie after that though, I was pleasantly surprised with and happy with. Much like G20, it's not gonna be like on anyone's best list, but for what it is though, I had fun.
This did get a limited theatrical release because I saw this in theaters, but it like hit like streaming like 2 weeks later. But this is I will agree. This didn't make my list, but I actually enjoyed this one. It's absolutely just Daisy Ridley's Die Hard. But I mean it's basically because like her brother is one of like the hostages, so she's basically trying to save him. That's her motivation to it. But she's great in it. It's directed by Martin Campbell, who did like GoldenEye and Mask of Zorro and some other films. So it's the action's pretty well directed. And yes, yeah, this was kind of one of those smaller films that a lot of people probably either aren't aware of or they just looked over it because it's like some straight to streaming shit. But it's at least worth checking out.
Yeah,
I agree. My number 6 was Freakier Friday, which you already talked about.
All right, my number 5 is a movie that came out a couple months back. I mean, the trailers were interesting to me, but I also wasn't expecting it to like resonate with me as much, and that's Roof Man. Channing Tatum it didn't seem like it was going to be a dramatic kind of role. It just seemed like it was going to kind of be like a fun, slight comedy, like maybe some slight action kind of film. But this is actually a drama, and he actually is really good in this. And Kirsten Dunst, we're not huge fans of her, but she's actually pretty solid in the movie as well. And the story, it's based on a true story. I was locked in literally from the first scene and was into this thing all the way up until the end. And it was just one of those movies that I was not prepared to care about the characters as much as I did and like what we got with it. And like I said, every scene all the way up to the big score thing around Christmas is all I'm going to say for spoiler reasons. I was like I was pleasantly surprised. I was not prepared to be as like in that movie as I was, and like I said, Channing Tatum surprised me in this. I was actually really, really impressed with his performance in this movie.
I thought it was all right.
Yeah.
So my next one is another one that's a director who is just normally does not make movies that are for me, and that is Noah Baumbach. This year he came out with Jay Kelly, starring George Clooney, Adam Sandler, Laura Dern. And this is a movie I almost didn't watch again because just not my kind of director. But I decided to check it out because I'd heard some positive things about it. I like most of the people in it. I at least like George Clooney, and George Clooney is one who, especially for like pretty much almost all the 2010s and 2020s, he's like not made very many movies, and when he does, it's all very serious movies, because he's whether it be political or whatever else he's into. I'm glad to see him start getting back into making, at least occasionally, making a movie that's a little bit more fun. This one, he's almost kind of playing almost like a version of himself, I feel like.
He is.
So he probably got to have a little extra fun with it that way. Complete with them showing when they're showing this actor Jay Kelly's retrospective, it's showing pictures from like The Peacemaker and all these other movies from his past. One Fine Day. So I enjoyed that, but so seeing George Clooney get to have his natural charm and personality and a little bit of comedy to it while still having plenty of dramatic moments, that was great. Adam Sandler doing a great job playing like a straight role. I thought he was great in this. He wasn't trying to be goofy, but he wasn't doing it too serious over the top like Uncut Gems where he's like all insane. It was just kind of a normal guy, and I thought he played the role very well. right down to, when he's kind of standing up to Jake Kelly. Does a great job. Billy Crudup has one particular scene where he just acts his fucking ass off, which I thought he was phenomenal in that scene. And it was kind of fun too, the way they played it. But yeah, this is a movie that just I just kind of liked the whole vibe of the movie. I kind of liked the themes of it, and I was surprised that I enjoyed it mostly because of the direction. There it is.
I will be talking about this in a later video, so
Okay.
I'll hold off everything till then. My number 4 was Fight or Flight, so back to you.
My number 4 is one I struggled with where to put this. I kind of wanted to put on my list, and it was lower on the list, and it's been all the way up here. And right now it's settled here, but these aren't really ranked for me. And that's Dust Bunny.
Hold on. Same fucking thing. It is my 3.
Okay.
It was 14, then it was 8, then it was 3, then it was 6. I was like, you know what? I'm putting it at fucking 3. So we're both same mindset here.
This movie's almost as hard to figure out how to rank as it is hard to figure out what the fuck is going on. Because this is, I think we described it as it's Leon the Professional. If it was directed by I said the director of Wonka, Taika Waititi. I think we also came up with it's kind of feels like Series of Unfortunate Events.
It's got a Jaws / Tremors vibe to it as well.
It is a strange movie. It's from Brian Fuller, who is the guy who made TV shows like Pushing Daisies, which if you know that, you kind of knew what to expect, because he always has kind of a surreal, almost fairy tale feel to his stories. It's always a little bit fantastical. And he definitely has that in here. The base story very much does feel like Leon the Professional. But he kind of does his twist on it. The little girl is phenomenal in this. Without giving too much away, it's a weird film. It's a weird film, but it's also totally charming in the way it does it. And I think that's just kind of that Brian Fuller feel to it. And Mads Mikkelsen does this great job. I think we both agree that the problem with this movie is going to be kind of finding its audience, because the tones are so kind of conflicting, which is perfect for people like me and Sean. But some people are going for this whimsical story are not going to like some of the violence in it, and the people looking for this action movie are not going to like how a lot of it's about this kid and his imaginary, or supposedly imaginary, creatures and things. And so it really is an odd film, but it's the very definition of a surprise, because it's a movie that it came out and I checked it out and I'm like, that is not at all what I thought this movie was going to be, but I was there for it. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, Sophie Sloane is the young actress. She is great in this movie. And then you also got Mads and Sigourney Weaver. I remember.
And David Desmalchian.
Yes, and David Desmalchian. I just remember being 20 minutes in to this. And I'm like, I messaged Brian. I was like, what the fuck is this? I am so.
And I was worried that meant you hated it. I was worried.
It was one of those, I was not in the right mindset. I was kind of agitated when I was watching it. And because it was 2 a.m. It was one of those, I can stay up late, so I'm going to watch this and I don't have to work in the morning. And I was just not in the mood for the antics that this movie was pulling. It was making me go, I don't even know if I'm going to fucking continue this. And then it was the next night and I was like, no, I just need to watch this. And I'm glad I did. But yeah, Brian Fuller, he also did Hannibal, which is why Mads Mikkelsen's in this, because he made Mads Mikkelsen because of Hannibal. Granted, he was already Casino Royale, but Hannibal fucking Lecter. Mads Mikkelsen's a phenomenal one, and Fuller can thank that. But he's got this, like you said, with Pushing Daisies, which also is a phenomenal show. If anyone had never checked that out, you should.
Well, that's just one of them. Wonder Falls is great. Dead Like Me is great. He's got a whole bunch of great.
Yeah, but he's got this just this eye, the way he shoots, and Dust Bunny's got so many scenes where I'm watching, I'm like, that's a beautifully well shot scene, or where he sets the camera, or how he angles the camera. I was like, that is a very unique shot right there, or that's a very unique way they are moving the camera for this scene. There's one of those of for the actual movie aficionados. There's those scenes where you kind of remove yourself from the movie, going, that's a fucking beautiful shot. Kind of thing. Oh wait, I need to be watching the movie. But yeah, it's such a weird fucking movie. And I remember like after it ended, I texted Brian. I was like, what the fuck did we just watch? Like, I still don't quite know how to feel about this. Like, it feels like 5 movies were thrown into a blender, and this is what came out. And I don't mean that in a bad way. Usually I say that and that's a bad thing, but this, it's not a bad thing. It's charming as hell, like Brian said. And when we actually do get to the, I'm just going to call it the third act because I'm not going to say much more than that.
Mm-hmm.
But when we actually do get to the third act, at that point, I'm just like, I holy shit is all I could really say. And then there's one moment there where I literally went, did that really happen? And and it's just like it hooks you in because like like I said, the first 20 minutes really doesn't do much to sell you on the movie. But what if you are patient and you let like basically until you get Mads and Sophie together on screen, once you get them together, you're good. It's just you having to like wait for them to get together. But it's an experience. I will say that, and I mean that in a good way. But like I said, a lot of people are not either going to have the patience for it, or they're not going to be open to the weirdness of it. Because even how it ends, I'm just like, I've got questions. I know I'm not going to get the answers to said questions, but I've got some fucking questions. Like, where do we go from here? is really kind of the main question. But yeah, it's definitely unique in terms of like, and I say you say you need to be like, you guys say it's like Leon Professional. Like it is, but it is really fucking unique. I can't think of another movie. The closest movie I can think of, and it's so far off, is like Little Monsters. It's nowhere close to that, but it's another one of those where it's like it's kind of like that, but it's really nothing like that at the same time.
Really, it felt closest to me like when I thought about more a series of unfortunate events in terms of its like tone, but with a lot more action and violence to it.
Like I said, let's narrow this down. It's okay, so it's Leon the Professional, series of unfortunate events with Tremors, and God, there's one more movie and I'm forgetting about it, but those are literally probably the 3 main. I said the fall.
I felt Wonka as well, yeah.
I said the fall because of the cinematography of color and visuals of it, but yeah, the main 3, it's probably like Tremors meets series of unfortunate events meets Leon the Professional. Yeah, and if that's your boat, then you fucking really should check out Dust Bunny. And if you guys are like, I still have no idea what the fuck this show is or this movie is because of the way Brian and Sean, guess what? That's what you're gonna feel like when you watch the fucking movie.
Tell you what, you watch it and you try to explain it to somebody and see how you do.
Exactly. Without spoiling the movie.
Without spoiling. Yeah.
Explain this movie without spoiling the movie to someone and see if you go, now I know where Sean and Brian are coming from.
Yeah.
So that was my number 3. So keep going, bud.
So my number 3 is the one we talked about mid-year as well. And that is The Gorge.
You know what? I had this on my surprise list and I took it off because I don't think it surprised me because I expected it to be good and it was good. So I took it off my list, but it was like as high as 6. And
well, this is one of those that I have different definitions for surprises. And this is one of those ones that, once I saw a trailer for it and saw who was involved in it, like, yes, I had high expectations for it and it lived up to them for the most part. But it's also one of those movies, this is a surprise in the fact that this fucking came out of nowhere. Like we had done, I don't know if we had finished, if we saw the trailer just before we saw it, or anticipated for 2025, or if it was just after we shot that. But this is like a trailer popped up.
I want to say that we didn't know that we hadn't seen the trailer, but I think it was one of those we were doing anticipating. We were going through the weeks and we saw this and we read a generic version of it and we're like, I mean, we like the 2 people in it, so I mean, we'll check it out, but we don't really know much about it. And then we got the trailer, we're like, this is that movie. So,
this trailer looks awesome. Holy shit, I want to see this movie. I wish you put it in theaters. Is an Apple TV movie, which they are getting better about putting things in theaters first, but this is one they didn't for whatever stupid ass reason.
Funny is
especially in early February when nothing else was coming out.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure this came out the same day as Love Hurts.
Yeah, because I think it was
a Valentine's Day movie. It was
Valentine's
Valentine's
Day.
Day. It was Valentine's Day.
Yeah. So this movie is a movie that made my surprise. It's just because it did basically come out of nowhere. Didn't know this was coming. Didn't really know what it was about. The trailer looked good. Watched it. Really loved most of the movie. I did enjoy the first half, like where there's more character moments and kind of two of them getting to know each other better than the second half, which I call the survival horror video game part of
It
the.
is very much a video game in the later half. Yeah.
But I did enjoy the whole thing. But yeah, this is a surprise just because it's a movie that I didn't see coming, and it ended up being one that I've really enjoyed this year.
I'm glad you had it on your list so we could talk about it. Like
Also, I
said,
still think Anya Taylor-Joy looks way hotter with dark hair. So.
I concur. And her and Miles Teller had great chemistry for it being like however fucking far away they were from each other.
They did. And another appearance from Sigourney Weaver.
I was literally about to say that. I was like, Sigourney Weaver's on the list again. Yeah, no, this movie was great. It was one. I think it was like it might have been the first real good review that we had for the year, or the first good movie that we both agreed on, like really liking for the year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like I said, I had this on my list and I took it off literally so that because I was like, well, I wasn't really surprised because I expected it to be good and it was good. But I'm glad you brought it up. My number 2 was on my list in the half year review, and I want to say it was like at the 3 spot, so it moved up a spot. I have not watched it since I first time I saw it, but I always, when I think back on the year and I think about surprises, this is one of the first ones that immediately pops in my head, and that's Borderline.
Okay.
I don't know why this movie was so good to me, but I really, really enjoyed this movie. Samara Weaving is like this. She's not a movie star. She's a musician. Yeah, she's a pop star, and she has a soccer fan played by
Ray.
Is it Ray Nicholson? Okay, I didn't want to say Jack Nicholson's son. By Ray Nicholson, who I really hadn't seen in anything until this year. Or the closest thing I saw him in was that he was in Smile 2, which he was in like 3 scenes, so not really enough to really give anything. And then he was also in Novocaine this year, which he was fine in. But this is his fucking movie. This is the movie where I'm like, now I am seeing the essence of Ray Nicholson. I loved him in this movie. He was probably one of my favorite. He's not the best performances of the year, but he's probably one of my favorite performances of the year. And like, yes, you probably say, oh, this is probably too close to his father. I don't fucking care. I had so much fun watching Ray Nicholson in this movie playing this character where he never goes like scary. He just goes creepy to hilarious, and he can flip it so quickly. Like there's one scene in particular that I can remember where like he says something that's kind of like ew, and then Samara Weaving throws something, he ducks, and it breaks the mirror. He's like, Sophia, that's such bad luck. And it's just like the delivery of it is perfect. Samara Weaving's great in it. I'm gonna say her name wrong. Chris Evans' wife.
Oh, Alba Baptista or something like that.
She is so fucking awesome in this, and hands down, it's a new award we have for the award show this season. Is a Best Moment award, and her duet with Samara Weaving is gonna be one that I'm gonna strongly in discussion with him to nominate, because I went back and rewound that scene like 3 times because it's such like a out of left field scene, and it's so fucking awesome at the same time. She's great in her role. It is just a fun movie. Is there some stupid parts to it? Yes. Is there some stupid character decisions in this? Yes. But Samara Weaving, who is always criminally underrated by a lot of people, but Brian and I both appreciate her for what she does. And then, like I said, Ray fucking Nicholson is so good. I love this movie. It's like the Big Hit to me. Like, not the same movie, but it's like one of those where it's like, it's not highly rated, but it's one of those that literally I could go and watch at any moment and just be happy that I'm watching it.
Yeah, no, I really enjoyed this as well. It didn't make my surprise list. I'm pleasantly surprised to see it so high on yours. But I enjoyed it.
It's really because of Ray Nicholson. If Ray Nicholson wasn't in the movie, it would barely be on this list.
He was a lot of fun in this. It's like I hope that he is able to find other roles again to kind of show his range and not get kind of pigeonholed into this I'm doing Jack Nicholson roles, So we'll see.
Yeah.
My number 2. If you know me at all and my tastes in movies, you know that I do not enjoy anime. But then this year one came out that everybody says, "Oh, you have to see this; it's so awesome," and you couldn't avoid it, and that's K-pop Demon Hunters. Um, K-pop Demon Hunters is a movie that, as a complete movie, it's not perfect. I mean, it's decent. I enjoy it, but some people are like over the moon about it. The music is awesome, though. The animation is great. It's done by it's Sony Animation, the same people who brought you Spider-Man Across and Into the Spider-Verse. Actually just saw a preview tonight for was a Goat, and they've been advertising
Goat is
from the
surprisingly
animators, like from the
Yes.
animators who brought you K-pop Demon Hunters and Spider-Verse. Yeah,
Goat surprisingly looks really good.
yeah.
I actually really want to see that movie.
But yeah, I mean, so I love the style of animation in it. I thought the music obviously has become a phenomenon. I thought the music was great in it, even if I'm a little sick of it, but I'm not going to blame the movie for the overexposure it's gotten since then in pop culture. So as a complete movie, it's not going to be this high on my list. But as a surprise, because as someone who does not enjoy anime, I really ended up enjoying this movie quite a bit, and I've already watched it at least twice, maybe even a third time. I can't remember offhand. So yeah, this is one I never would have expected that I would have liked. I never would have expected I would have watched it, but I heard good reviews from people who I tend to agree with. So I'm like, you know what? I'll check it out. It's one of those movies I put on kind of in the background while I was doing something else, but 10 minutes in, I was just like watching. I was locked in.
If my rule that I've had is always, if my movie is in my best rankings, it can't be on my surprising. If it's in my worst rankings, it can't be on my disappointed. If I didn't have that rule, K-pop would be my number 1 most surprising film of the year. But it's on another list that I'm going to be talking about later, so it cannot be on this list because I am one of those people that is over the moon about this movie. So
I don't have these rules, so I don't care.
I'm going to be talking about this movie on a different list.
Okay.
So I'll stop there. My number 1 is a movie that, not this movie, but its predecessor, Brian fucking hates. Brian hates that I loved the first movie because he hates the first movie so much. This movie got a sequel. This movie does not deserve to have a sequel because the first movie is pretty definitive. But damn it, if the sequel is not better than the first film and is shockingly not revolutionary, I'm not going to use that word, but like, holy fucking crap, you managed to fucking make a way better movie by doing something completely different, and that's Black Phone 2.
Ooh.
Did you ever watch? You never. Did you ever watch Black Phone 2?
I never watched the second one.
Exactly. So calm down.
I just heard they were trying to turn him into Freddy Krueger.
He basically is, but they do it. It's so good. It's so fucking good. It's oh god, the director what's Scott Derrickson?
Derrickson, who also did The Courage, by the way.
Yeah, and Sinister and Black Phone 1. I want him to do Nightmare on Elm Street. If they're going to ever bring back Nightmare on Elm Street, I want him to do it because what he does in this, I want to see him with Freddy Krueger. They managed to, because like Black Phone 1, it's like, okay, well that feels like a very much of a one and done story. Like how the fuck are you going to build this into a sequel? And while there is some loose connection, like, well, how the fuck does the grabber have these abilities and stuff? And they kind of explain it, but it's not like it's more like speculation. It's not like a clear cut, this is why it's happening. So you never get a full answer. But oh god, blanking on the girl's name. It's Madeline something. Fuck. But she's the little sister in the first movie, which Brian can hate the movie all he wants, but he admitted Madeline McGraw. He admitted that she was great in the movie, and Mason Thames was good. He fucking hated the story. This is her movie. She is now taking the lead role. Mason Thames is still in this movie a ton, but this is Madeline's film. Much like Wicked 2, Ariana Grande is more the lead and Cynthia Erivo is more the secondary. Same thing with Mason and Madeline. she's fucking amazing in this movie. She is so good. She has so much passion and everything in her every single role. Like when she's terrified, you fucking believe that she is terrified. I the last time I felt this way about a young actress, and granted she just turned 17, so she's not considered young anymore, was Julia Butters, who we just talked about. She's amazing in this film. I fucking loved her performance. Mason Thames, the dude hasn't really done wrong for me. Like he was phenomenal as Hiccup earlier this year. He Regretting You wasn't great, but that wasn't his fault. He's fine in it. And then of course he's amazing in Black Phone 1. He's great in this. Ethan Hawke looks like he's having more fun. I'd say he's on par with having fun, but he gets to do something different this time. He's not just being the grabber again. He's being like Freddy Krueger grabber. But the way they shoot these scenes, the Freddy Krueger-esque scenes, are shot so fucking amazing and practical as well. And that is why it's like, it's not CGI fucking heaven. Like this is like wire work and practical effects, and it looks amazing. And everything about this movie worked for me. It ties into the first film, and it chooses to go completely different with it. It doesn't feel like a tacked on sequel. It doesn't feel like they're just resurfacing and doing the same shit over again. It is completely different from the first film with the same characters, and everything about it worked for me. And I could not praise this movie enough. I had to put it at number 1 because it was just outside of my honorable mention for best of. It's like just outside of it. I was like, well, fuck, like I gotta talk about this because I know A, it's gonna piss off Brian, but B, because I really loved this sequel so much. It's probably one of my favorite horror sequels of recent memory that really just kind of came out and not only built on the first film, but excelled and did better than the first film. And that's come from someone who actually really, really loved the first movie. And I could not have been more surprised. And because I was excited to see it, but I was like, yeah, it'll be okay. But like by then I was like, holy fucking shit, they managed to fucking dominate this. Like I was very, very happy with Black Phone 2. That's why it's my number
1. Sean's number 1, I'm fairly certain would be my number 1 if he didn't have his rule. I don't have this rule. Because my number 1 surprise film of the year is Predator: Killer of Killers. I assume it's going to be on his best list. I don't know this for a fact.
It will.
I would think so. I think it would also be on the surprise list, but he didn't put it on that one. Because this is a movie that, we hear they're coming out with a Predator movie this year. Like, great, we want to see Predator. Predator Badlands, it's going to be awesome. Like, oh, we're also putting out an animated one. To which you're like, okay. Will it be any good? And also, do you need to put it out in the same year? It's kind of like that doesn't, it kind of feels like you're going to make one feel less than. Plus, we've seen like them do animated versions of things. They're not necessarily like they did like a Terminator, like an anime kind of thing. They tried doing like an X-Men anime thing. And I've not really enjoyed when they've tried to do animated versions of these things. But I went into this watching it because Dan Trachtenberg, who we like, was directing it. And I went in knowing virtually nothing about it. And I think that was perfect because I went in and I did not know what to expect. We starts off, we get to see this story with the Predator versus like this Viking chick and her son. And like, this is fucking awesome. And oh wait, now we're in fucking Japan going ninja versus samurai versus Predator. That's like my 10-year-old boy wet dream. Oh my God. If you could ask me when I was a kid what I like to see, that pretty much describes what it'd be. Then you get the final one. Well, not the final one. You get the third story with the aerial battle. But then it all culminates in this last act, which makes it even more bonkers, brings everything together.
Like fucking gladiator arena.
Kind of opens up and it even ends on this cliffhanger, kind of open up for where the future story can go along with the credits tease, which kind of shows where they might go with these stories, which got me super excited, especially when they edited it and added more to it. Because I love the style of the action in this movie. I love that they can do things in animation that they probably could not pull off in live action, just in terms of, how crazy and some of the camera angles and in addition to the gore, you probably couldn't do this gory in a live action film as they got in this movie. But everything about this movie worked for me. the animation, the music, the pacing of it, the voice acting. I love that Michael Biehn gets to join now that small club of people who have been killed by a Terminator, an Alien, and a Predator, because he got to have a small role in this movie and get killed. Spoiler alert, sorry, that one slipped out. But yeah, this is a movie that I went into really kind of not negative, but I was like kind of hesitant to, like, is this a good idea to put out this animated film, especially in the same year you're going to put out a live action film? And honestly, I liked it more than I liked Predator Badlands a lot. I liked this more. This is probably my favorite Predator outside of the original, and even then, it's like 1 and 2.
Yeah, I think you and I are both in agreement. We both enjoy Killer of Killers more than Predator Badlands. But yes, Brian is right. I will be talking about this later. So I'm going to hold off talking about this until then, so that way we're not just repeating the same shit on the next video. Or not the next video, but future video. So that's it. Those are our most surprising films of 2025. What were your most surprising videos of 2025? Was it any of the movies that are on our list, or was it movies that we did not mention? Let us know in the comments below. We are now 2 videos down of our end of year extravaganza, 3 more to go. We still have worst films of 2025, then our best films of 2025, and then moving on to our most anticipated films of 2026. And we hope you guys follow us through that journey. And if you guys have not checked out our first episode of most disappointed films of 2025, feel free to check that out as well. But catch us next time on the worst films of 2025. That's going to be a fun one. We are the Movie Crusaders. I'm Sean Waskrug. That is Brian Michaels. And until next time, in case we don't see you, go watch some movies and go have some fun.
You're still here. It's over.